Vegas is a fantastic weekend. It's a real show, and it was a great race to watch as well. First and foremost, congratulations to Max on his 4th World Championship. It was well deserved. We still have a very close battle for who will win the Constructors' Championship this year, with several teams in the mix. For us personally, it was a tough weekend on many fronts. Starting with Alex, we didn't quite get the tyres into the right window. They're a little bit tricky here. You saw that with a number of teams, and it meant he was out in Q1. That's not where the car pace was, as you saw in the race. We were really able to be competing in that top 10 position, but we didn't get it all right in qualifying. And the same with Franco. And this we shoulder responsibility for. Franco started the lap just a second behind Gasly, and when you're that close to a car, you lose downforce, quite considerable amounts of front downforce especially, and it was an inconsistent balance for him across the lap. And he was trying to make up time and crashed in doing so. Now, we're normally very good at providing gaps in that circumstance, and we have a responsibility towards making sure that he started the lap where he should have done beforehand. There was not clear enough communication from both sides in getting that right. In terms of the race itself, Franco was quick, but there's only so much you can make up when you're starting from the pit lane, and that position was about all we had in the car. In the case of Alex, you saw we were running actually fairly successfully up in that PA, P9 position before we had the issue on the cooling side. Now, we need to understand that more. It's the second time this year that we've had that issue. I'll go into it in more detail in the questions. In terms of our remaining races, we've still got 2 to go. One's the sprint race weekend in Qatar. The temperatures look lower than last year, and of course there's been some track changes, so I think you'll see a different set of conditions to what we're running in 2023, but it provides learning opportunity for 25 and beyond. Welcome to the Vowles Verdict, presented by Kraken. Short answer, yes, very encouraged. But it's not much different to what we expected from qualifying. We didn't get it all right in qualifying, but even Franco starting around a second behind Gasly was as fast, and you saw where Gasly qualified. So the car had potential. We were running P8, P9, and I think that's a realistic proposition for where Alex had a potential to finish. That was until we started suffering cooling issues. And the result of that is we switched off a number of systems, started doing a lot of lift and coast and dropping back to cars ahead. And from that point onwards, really the only choice was to retire the car. With Alex, it was a few laps after he stopped, comfortably running ahead of the Haas, and it was at that point we started noting the cooling issues. What we did as a result of that is do some switch changes which turn off systems, and also more lift and coast and gaps to car ahead. And through all of that, it didn't control the issue that we were seeing. So long story short, I think we were overtaking on track as the result of the fact that we had to severely compromise performance of the car. From then onwards, it was very clear that the car had to be retired, and we did so swiftly and quickly. An impact of over 50G is enormous for any human being, and you're battered and bruised as a result of that. What we did is spoke to the medical center both that evening, who advised we go back and just make sure we have a night's rest with Franco, and then come back the following day to make sure that he's perfectly fit to race. And he was. It's the only reason why we put him in the car. You can't race with a concussion. You need to obviously take care of your drivers in that circumstance. And hopefully what you saw from Franco was an individual that was on the pace, on the money, achieving what he could for all of us out there. We'll be back fighting in Qatar and in Abu Dhabi. Short answer is we have to be realistic. Where we are in the Constructors' Championship is probably 9th. But it does present an opportunity both for the sprint race weekend in Qatar and Abu Dhabi, and then the test following Abu Dhabi, to learn for 2025 and beyond. And that's exactly what we're going to do with that time frame. There's plenty of things actually we were testing already in Vegas, and we'll continue that on through these next 2 races. It's frustrating to be in this position, but also we have to be realistic about what's about now and what's about the future. And investing in the future will pay more reward. I think all too often we forget that the team is built up with a huge number of individuals working all hours of the day, and I absolutely mirror your comments. The team, trackside, the mechanics, and all of the crew did an absolutely incredible job. To go through Brazil, which was punishing, to then go through the weeks afterwards where everyone was working every hour of the day to get the cars on the grid for Vegas, and then rebuild again several times, in fact, as a result of a few issues across Saturday and Friday, is extraordinary. I'm fortunate to be in a team of individuals that are passionate and care as much as I do about where we are and what we're doing to go racing, and they did a tremendous job. But it extends beyond the mechanics. The team here across the last few weeks have been extraordinary. It really is, for most teams on the grid, a gigantic amount of effort to get what we had in terms of spare packages. And it's just a thank you to everyone involved.